This is the Southwest Outdoors Report, powered by your Texas Chevy dealer.
Hey everybody, and welcome into our show. Your Southwest Outdoors Report is on the road again. We are coming to you right now from a little bit south of Tulsa, Oklahoma, up in the northeastern part of this beautiful state, at a location we've never been before. We are on the navigation channel that runs actually a long ways between northeastern Oklahoma all the way to the Mississippi River. And I'd like to welcome in our Oklahoma fishing reporter that gives you the reports every week, Mr. Gary Dollahan. And Gary, welcome to the show. Tell us a little bit about this channel where we're going to be fishing today.
I will. We're on the McClellan Kerr Arkansas River Navigation Channel, and today we're in the pool that's in the stretch between Coweta and Wagner, Oklahoma. But this navigation channel actually originates at the Port of Catoosa, and it is navigable all the way to New Orleans. So it's about 1,100 miles of water that a guy could fish, but we're not going to try to do that much today.
We're not going to go 1,100 miles, huh? Now, what kind of fish are in this navigation channel?
Everything that our state has to offer. It's probably best known for its bass and its catfish, but it also has crappie. You'll find white bass, and really all the species are in this water.
Well, I'm looking forward to fishing in a place I've never fished before, so stay with us. We're going to idle out of this little cove right here and get out on the channel, maybe do a little bass fishing for you on today's show. And in the meantime, we're going around the region for all your latest fishing reports from the other parts of the region, including Brian Hughes, Texas Freshwater, Bill Olson on the Texas Gulf Coast, Cajun Phil and Kevin down in the Louisiana area, and we'll have your Lawrence Hot Lake of the Week. This week, we're going to tell you about a great shoreline fishing area at Lake Texoma. Also this week, we'll have your big catch of the week with a giant smallmouth bass from right here in the Tulsa area. But first, here's Heather back at the FSN studios with your Chevy Weekend Planner.
The Salinar tables indicate the peak daylight fishing times this weekend will take place around the lunch hour. Prime activity should begin around 11:50 a.m. on Saturday and at 12:40 p.m. on Sunday. The sun will be rising at 7:17 in the morning and setting at 7:20 in the evening. We just had a full moon, so nights will continue to be well lit with the moon 95% visible. If you're in Oklahoma, don't forget that this weekend is the 2010 Oklahoma Wildlife Expo at the Lazy E Arena in Guthrie. Get out and enjoy some time in the outdoors this weekend. Now back to Barry.
Thanks very much, Heather. We're out on the navigation channel right now, and Gary is pulling a couple of bass out of the live well that we caught before the camera gear arrived here this morning. And I will tell you, I caught this one. Gary caught this one. But Gary, talk about the quality of the bass that the average guy can expect here.
Yeah, this is probably a pretty good average representation of the range of fish you'll catch. A lot of pound and quarter, pound and a half fish, up to 3.5, 4, 5 or 6 pounders of big bass in the navigation channel. But these, as you can tell, are in great shape. Man, what fun they were. Yeah,
that's just a good quality, about a 3.5 pound bass, something like that. So Gary, let's put these back, and we're going to actually go out and try to catch some for you on camera. But let's put them back in. Let's go ahead and release them. Let them go, and we're going to start fishing. Throw a plastic worm around, a little crankbait, a little spinnerbait, see what they're going to bite today. Could be a good day on the navigation channel. Stay with us. We'll be right back just south of Tulsa, Oklahoma, right after this.
This is the Southwest Outdoors Report, powered by your Texas Chevy dealer.
There's one.
You got him?
Yeah. Come on in here, guy. Yeah, let's see here. Looks like a little largemouth.
All right, something to get it started. Swing him back to the left and toward the end.
There he is.
All right. Something to make your hand stink right off the bat.
Right.
All right,
Gotta
welcome
smell
back,
like fish.
everybody. We are today coming to you from the navigation channel, Kerr McClellan Navigation Channel, just south of Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's a long channel, runs all the way to New Orleans, with Gary Dollahan. And Gary, this is a really cool place. I've never been here. We're sitting in 15 feet of water, pitching right up against the bank, so a lot of good depth, a lot of good cover. We'll talk about that some more, but tell us a little about the history of this place. It goes all the way back to the Depression.
Yeah, before that actually, it goes back to the 20s, where, you had a lot of real flooding issues back at that time. Everybody talks about the Great Flood of 1927, and that really talked about the watershed management in this state. And fortunately, there were individuals that realized they had to do something, and whatever they did, they could take full advantage of that, both for navigation and recreation, as well as flood control. So this navigation channel is truly a result of all that coming together.
Man, it is an awesome place. Again, my first trip here, but I'm falling in love with it already. Lots of really fishy looking cover to fish right along the banks of the channels and the little oxbows off of it. Let's go east from here, southeast, down to Cajun Phil and Kevin. Here's your Louisiana Fishing and Lake reports for this week.
Tell you what, friends, Captain Kevin Broussard here bringing you the Fox Louisiana Outdoor Report. As you can see, southwest Louisiana, we are alive and kicking with some big, great redfish action. Got to David Tamayo and his crew here from Tamayo Construction. It is Tamayo Construction, correct? Yes, it is. Okay, I'll tell you what, great group of guys out of Texas down here catching these big, beautiful South Louisiana redfish. If y'all want to make a trip, you can give us a call. Fishing out of Hackberry on Calcasieu Lake. Also, Towfield Bourgeois down on the feet, said he's back up and running charters, and they're also doing very well. Y'all give us a call, or we're going to see you on the water.
Wow, that's some redfish or what? Captain Kev's been doing that now for about 2 weeks, limiting out with redfish just about each and every day. Also catching a few speckled trout and some flounders. So right now here in southwest Louisiana, it's pretty darn good, as you can see. Matter of fact, all across the south, it's good. As far as the bass fishing goes, let's talk about river fishing right now. Calcasieu River, all the way up from Kinder down to Lake Charles, is really good right now. They catch a lot of them late in the afternoon. They're throwing chug bugs, topwater baits, catching them bass. Also over on the Sabine River, that's been really good, but they've been throwing spinner baits, also a lot of small crankbaits. As far as the Red River goes, up there, it's the Seville Flat Shad and the Rattle Trap that's doing the damage there. So try river fishing, it's pretty good right now.
The Southwest Outdoors Report, powered by your Texas Chevy dealers, is brought to you by Abu Garcia for life, by Navionics. We start where the road ends, by Whataburger, just like you like it, and by Mercury Outboards, #1 on the water.
Really good one.
You got him, Gary.
Boy, he is fighting. Look at this thing, he's coming up.
There he is.
Oh,
Good fish.
nice.
All right, I'm going to help you lift this fish.
Yeah, please. Come on.
This way.
Oh, he don't want to come this way.
Open, open. Got him. Oh,
Right.
yeah, there
Beauty.
is a Navigation Channel bass chunk.
How about that?
Right there. Hey, everybody, you're on your Southwest Outdoors Report on the road, south of Tulsa, Oklahoma, at the Kerr McClellan Navigation Channel. And this is Gary Dollahan here. You want to touch your fish
Well,
there,
sure. Thank you. And they're pretty.
All right, that
in
one
great
hit
shape.
a plastic worm, which is going to be one of your primary baits on this channel. Right?
Absolutely, yeah. This is a great soft plastic area. And you know, as calm as it is, I've actually gone with a little 5-inch LaRue salt shaky worm. And, you know, because everything's subtle.
Right.
And the shad that we're seeing matches up good size-wise, but man, what a pretty fish we got there.
We'll let him go back. Well, Gary, let's talk about some of the cover that there is to fish. There's a little bit of everything here. That was in a big fallen down treetop that fell over in the water. What other kinds of cover are in the channel?
Well, you know, kind of depending on where you are, you're going to find a lot of different things. You'll find some true vertical stumps that are left in the system, a lot of laydowns that are still on the bank. That one, like you mentioned, is a treetop actually out in the water. And then you get back in some pockets and you'll have lots of the willow grass and little shoreline grass that can be great fishing. And some you'll even find lily pads. So that's fun too, with a frog and other topwater baits.
Well, we've got a good day going right here, even though it's still pretty warm out here. Everything is really calm, high pressure, but nice bass for the Navigation Channel. Let's check in right now with Brian Hughes back in Texas with your freshwater fishing report for all the lakes there.
Hi everybody, and welcome to Lone Star Lakes, brought to you by our newest sponsor, Brass and Blades Lures, the bait with twice the bite. Now this week we have good news and bad news, so let's start with the good. On LBJ, you can catch hybrids and crappie. You can catch the hybrids out in the deeper water, find the bait fish on your graph, and drop slabs on top of them. The crappie will be out in front of the boat docks 10 to 15 feet and about 15 feet deep over the brush piles. You'll use crappie rigs or minnows to catch your limit on LBJ. Now the bad news, out at Lake Fairfield, we've had a massive fish kill. We usually say this involves a lot of bait fish. This time, it killed thousands of largemouth bass and many thousands of the redfish. Parks and Wildlife says it was a lack of oxygen, but they don't know why. And more importantly, we don't know how this is going to do for fall fishing this year, which is one of Fairfield's outstanding characteristics. We'll keep an eye on this situation and update you as we get updates from Texas Parks and Wildlife. That's this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you by Brass and Blades Lures. Now let's check in with Mr. Bill Olson. He's on the coast.
Hi folks, this week's report is brought to you by Port Aransas on Mustang Island. With its Gulf beaches, great coastal fishing, Arnold Palmer golf courses, fresh seafood, and nighttime hotspots, Port A is truly Texas Island style. For more information, visit the website on the screen. Well, we've had enough early fronts with their north winds push through the upper coast to increase bird activity on Sabine, Trinity, and upper Galveston bays. Now, when the north winds blow, look for bait to be pushed out of the marshes and into the open bays where they become easy pickings for specks and reds. Fish TTF's Hackberry Hustler or trout killers on 1/4 ounce jig heads. Either side of Pass Cavallo, the action along the edge of the grass beds as well as right on top has improved. On the lower coast, the jetties at Port Isabel has seen kingfish, mangrove snapper, tarpon, and speckled trout, to name just a few game fish available. Live bait and soft swim baits have produced. Offshore, light winds have allowed boats to troll and drift waters around weed lines, rips, rigs, and rocks. From Freeport southward to Port Mansfield, this is one of the most pleasant and productive times of the year to fish offshore. Blue water has pushed close to shore, where kingfish, ling, wahoo, tuna, and the occasional sailfish await. This weekend, Saturday has a double tide schedule of 2 high and 2 low tides. Sunday's a 3 tide day with 2 high tides and just 1 low. I'm Bill Olson, and I'll see you on the coast.
Well, as you can see right here in the background, we've got a barge going by, a tug pushing it right here in the background, right on the main navigation channel here. And we're in a little oxbow on the side. And Gary, you said you can actually get in that channel and literally drive to New Orleans through the lock system. How does that work?
You can. There's a total of 18 locks on the McClellan Kerr Navigation System down to the Mississippi. The state of Oklahoma has 5 of those locks here. And you know, what always is amazing to me is when the barge goes by like this, look at the current that's generating just from the water that's sucking out from the draft of that barge and what he's pushing.
And you said a lot of times what that literally will do is right in the mouths of these little cuts, it'll turn the fish on and make them start feeding.
It can fire them up big time right there. And I'm not an expert on locking through. I've been on this navigation system and have locked through, but you know, it is set up where you can lock through with the barge if you know what's coming in. Obviously this is for barge traffic, so the lock master controls it specifically for them, but even recreational boaters have the right to lock through. And if there's no barge traffic coming, they're going to open it for you and let you on through.
So you can go right through a lock, right in your bass boat. How about that? All right, stay with us. That barge is going to go by. We're going to let things settle back down, go back to fishing, and Gary Dollahan has the Sooner Beat Your Fishing Report from the rest of the state of Oklahoma coming up next.
The Southwest Outdoors Report, powered by your Texas Chevy dealers, is brought to you by Nitro Performance Bass Boats. Fish your best in a Nitro. By Stren, the standard of dependability. By Costa Sunglasses, see what's out there. And by Motor Guide, never stop.